Hi there, I'm Julie Tam, managing broker at Lynn Realty. You can find me on har.com as Yao Tam. That's HAR, which stands for Homes and Rentals. I'm in the Memorial Villages area along I-10 today, out actually showing a tenant client. I'm waiting for her to arrive. Happy holidays to all of you, whatever you celebrate this time of year. These videos are shot in one take and are not edited, and this is part of my Smarter Real Estate Weekly Wednesday video series. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm here to take you on my real estate adventures and also teach you to be a smarter tenant, buyer, landlord, or seller. Today's topic actually centers around renting properties, and so it's relevant for tenants and landlords. I'm going to talk about three little known areas of leasing, and those topics are involving utilities, yard maintenance, and repairs. So those are some hot button issues, and I'm here to answer your questions. So if you have any, by the time you finish watching this video, feel free to reach out to me. And also, of course, if you're looking for a real estate broker to help you out with any real estate transactions, whether buying, selling, or leasing, or property management, our company manages more than 300 rental properties all around the greater Houston area. All right, so let's get started. Utilities. So the lease actually specifies that as a tenant, you are required to keep utilities on through the end of your lease. Those would be the utilities that you are responsible for under the lease. They could vary. So a home may already have the water, sewer, and trash activated. Then you don't need to worry about dealing with those. But if there's electricity and gas, or if the water, sewer, and trash are your responsibility, then you must have those on continuously through the end of your lease, even if you decide to go on vacation or move out early. Let's just say you're moving out a few weeks early, but you're still paying through the end of the lease. You still have to keep those utilities on even though you're already out of the home. By the way, I am doing this recording from my car. I'm driving my second vehicle because my poor first vehicle got a little bit mangled up. The side bumper trim thing, unfortunately, I was showing after hours in the dark, and I didn't see this little piece of several inches high concrete that they had put next to this ditch. And as I was trying to park, I hit it, even though slowly, and I heard this kind of crackling sound, and before you knew it, unfortunately, there was damage. So rather than driving along with that thing just scraping the road all the way, I'm waiting for a repair. And so hopefully it will be back in business soon with that vehicle. All right, the second thing I mentioned was about yard maintenance. So your lease lists out all the different things that you need to do with your yard. Some people think all they need to do is mow, edge, and weed, and maybe keep the bushes trimmed back. No, that's not it. You actually have to maintain everything in your yard. Your yard means anything outside of the home where things are growing, or even when things are not growing, okay? So you have to keep it watered. You also have to water around the foundation to make sure that foundation problems don't pop up, because whenever there's uneven moisture or when it gets really dry and it doesn't rain for a while, then that's when foundation problems can happen. And so you also need to actually, before I move on to the next thing, you want to put a soaker hose around the house if you're living in a house or some other type of rental property that you're responsible for the yard at. And so that way that dripping of the water is going to nicely saturate that soil over time. And just keep that soaker hose running like every day in the morning, for example, except for if it's like pouring down rain outside. And then in that case, there's plenty of moisture. All right, you also have to keep trees trimmed back. The best thing is to keep those trees from touching any part of the house, the outside of the house, because any point of contact can cause, algae or mildew growth or damage, scratching, things like that. And so, yes, you have to maintain the entire yard. All right, the last thing I mentioned was about repair. So a lot of tenants think that when they report a repair to their landlord or property manager, if they don't get it done like literally within the next 24 to 48 hours, then the tenant can start to withhold rent, move out, or just do all sorts of things, threaten lawsuits. No. So there are specific stipulations in the Texas Property Code. And, I mentioned Texas because we're in the state of Texas, so everything I'm saying applies to our state. I'm not speaking for other states. So you have to report it to your landlord or property manager and give them a reasonable amount of time to actually try to get someone out there to take care of the situation. Now, on that very first trip, the contractor may not be able to make the repair. Maybe they're assessing it. They need to order parts, or maybe either parts to repair or replace, or even order an entirely new thing altogether. For example, an AC unit or a water heater. There may be a wait time for that, but all of that is reasonable. So if your landlord or property manager has responded to you within about 7 days, and they're already starting the process, that's considered reasonable by the courts, and we have experience in that. Also, sometimes people like to say that something is affecting their health or safety. Certainly, if there's really a condition that affects your health and safety, then that is something that needs to be taken more seriously. But then the 7 days, reasonable time frame actually applies to health and safety issues. If it's just a dripping faucet or something minor like that, that does not apply. I mean, the landlord or property manager could take even longer to make that repair. Of course, in good faith, we always try to get people out as soon as possible, but especially during the holidays, things can be a little bit slower. The property code also addresses any shortages in materials or manpower. So, when Hurricane Harvey hits and everyone's out trying to do flood remediation and, people stores are sold out of certain materials, then, you have to be understanding about that and be reasonable as well with your property manager or landlord. Okay, and so there is no automatic reimbursement or landlord paying for your hotel stay or anything like that. Some tenants think they can just move out. They say the place is unlivable, but really all of these things are defined in the property code, and there really are specifications to this, and it's just not something where you can just arbitrarily say the home is unlivable as a tenant and make your own call for that. So definitely talk to your landlord or property manager, seek out the Texas Property Code. It is available online. Make sure you find the correct version. It should be on a government website, official government website, or of course you can reach out to me with questions. I'm not an attorney, but just from a real estate standpoint. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and follow. Continue to watch this series both on YouTube and Facebook, and I hope to see you again for another episode. Thanks. Have a great week. Bye-bye.